All right. What is a dough face as applied to 1850s America? They had the term dough face, yes.
Someone that's two-faced or two-sided.
Two-sided, that's close. Basically, it meant a northern man with southern sympathies. So you can call it dough two-faced, that's close. Our two presidents in a row, northern men, Franklin Pierce and James Buchanan, were northern men who completely had southern sympathies. They were northern to get the northern vote. They were southern sympathy to get the southern vote. But then in 1860, the Democrats split their vote. And that helped Lincoln. Lincoln only got 40% of the vote. His name wasn't even on the ballot in most southern states. All right. Which state was the first state to leave the Union? In 1861. One of the, yes.
South Carolina.
South Carolina left the Union first. Yes, and I was recently reading that it is true when Georgia delegation met, they were pretty evenly divided on the issue, but Georgia was very important because Georgia was the biggest state east of the Mississippi. Not as big as Texas, but the biggest state east of the Mississippi, and Georgia also was the most populous state east of the Mississippi at that time. I mean, the most popular southern state, pardon me, the most popular southern state. And the people of the South really wanted Georgia to leave, so after a debate, Georgia voted overwhelmingly, the Georgia delegation voted overwhelmingly to leave. But at first, it was close. But then debate swung the votes to where the Georgians decided to leave in decided in big numbers. Georgia left. All right. What do we remember about two women, Grandma Moses and Harriet Tubman? What did they do? Both of them had this one thing in common. They what? Underground Railroad, yes. They decided to take the slaves to what we call the Underground Railroad, even though it was neither underground nor was it a railroad, but it was to a place where that the slaves could go and be free. And again, Grandma Moses at least, and maybe Harriet Tubman and Sojourner Truth, there were three women actually. I know Grandma Moses carried a revolver. And if any slave decided he wasn't going, she'd pull out the revolver because she knew if she left one behind, they would quickly tell their masters. So once Grandma Moses appeared in your camp, if you were a slave, you were going whether you wanted to or not. All right. All right. Where was the first battle of the American Civil War? The battle occurred at a place called Fort Sumter. Fort Sumter. Fort Sumter. All right. Folk, this one should be a really, really easy one for everybody. One word will do. On which side was Georgia during the Civil War? I think that should be an easy one for most of you. Yeah, Georgia was, you could put South, you could put Confederate, I'll count either way. Georgia was on the southern side. All right. The battle that is often called the turning point. Up until this battle, the South was winning. After this battle, the South did not win any major victories. What battle am I thinking about? It didn't even occur on Southern soil. It was, yes?
Gettysburg.
Gettysburg, the Battle of Gettysburg. The day after Gettysburg fell on July 3rd, on July 4th, Vicksburg surrendered. Lee, retreating from Gettysburg, was unaware of Vicksburg. But Lee was having a dismal time. Not only had he lost at Gettysburg, not only was it raining cats and dogs, but he did not know that Vicksburg had surrendered. And again, it was Lee's responsibility because Lee was in charge of all the Confederacy, even the West. And he was criticized even in his own time of neglecting the West, even while he was general, even while he was alive, he was criticized for neglecting the West. And he finally admitted, I just don't know much about the West. Well, losses in the West was what was to wind up costing him the war. Now, who was the American Union general, who burned Atlanta to the ground and then burned a path from Atlanta to Savannah a mile wide and tore up all the railroads? General whom?
Sherman?
General Sherman. And again, he made a famous quote. As he saw Atlanta burn, he said, "But I know these people, that they're going to build a much more beautiful city in the place of the one I'm destroying." And he was right. All right, what went on at the Battle of, well, let's see. I've already told you more than I intended to, but what happened here?
Custer was defeated.
Custer was defeated, yes. I told you it was a battle. I didn't intend to tell you that much. I just wanted to write a little big one. Now I found out it was a battle. Generally, it's one of the few Indian victories. And again, if Custer would only have kept his army together, I believe he could have won. And the Indians, and a bunch of Indians just happened by chance to bump into each other, and they were together for a little time. And that was one problem the Indians had. They could not stay together in anything big as a tribe. But about 2,000 or 3,000 of them, we don't know how many, actually found themselves together. And Custer split his army into 3 pieces. And Reno was in charge of one, and Benteen in charge of the other. And neither one of them knew that Custer had actually sent for both of them to come. Benteen did not know that Reno was told to come, and Reno did not know Benteen. If both Benteen and Reno had come to Custer's aid, perhaps the battle had lived out. But as it was, and there was a lot of investigating done, and it was found that Benteen and Reno were justified. They both felt like they didn't have enough men to rescue Custer. So they left Custer to perish while they at least survived. But again, if Custer had not split his army, the outcome might have been different. One of those things, what what could have been. As it was, Custer and his 277 men did not have even a small chance. All right. This one should be, oh yeah, this one might fool you. All right here. All right, what was this? 14th Amendment.
Made slave citizens.
Made former slave citizens. Now, here's what you need. Some of you are going to see 13th Amendment. Some of you see 14th, and some of you see 15th. You have to know all 3. The 13th Amendment freed the slaves. So we're done in order. Freed them first. 14th Amendment made them citizens. 15th Amendment gave them the right to vote. And I say right to vote tongue-in-cheek, because it was 100 years before it was actually realized. But 3 amendments that were passed right there, close together. All right, I'm out of time. Does anyone now have any particular, yes?